Good evening, everyone, and welcome to United Sauce and Wingers. My name is Dominic, and we have three guests on today. Flicking love these people. The only thing that's cheering me up right now is having these three people that can share in the gloom of what that game was. We just drew to Chelsea 0-0, and some people might think, oh, okay, it's all good, 1 point. If you watch the game for 90 minutes, you'll know how I'm feeling. I said before we came live that this game felt like a movie I've watched a million times. You know, those rom-coms. You're like, oh, I love him. Oh, he loves me. Oh, yeah. I love her. She just doesn't understand me. Honestly, we know they end up in the end. We know they end up and they love each other and they have kids. I'm not here for that movie. I want to start winning things. So tune in, strap yourselves in, because we're going to go deep into this game and figure out what the hell, where do we go from here? First of all, I just want to say a big thanks to everyone who sent some really, really nice messages and love support for my new baby girl that came. That's why I couldn't do the stream on Thursday, the preview and so forth like that. I really appreciate you guys. Road to 500 subscribers. We're building such a lovely little community. And this community is going to get me through this point because I got my girl downstairs. She's having some milk and she's probably thinking, what game was that too? Do you know what I mean? She's like 2 days old. So let's just get straight into it. Let's see what the comments are saying. Obviously, we've got Waz. Thank you so much, Man United Analytics, for coming on.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, just a bit frustrated regarding the game, but we'll delve into it now.
Mate, we will. And Katie, as always, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, feel like disappointed, but also to be expected, so it doesn't hurt as much.
Yeah, I hear you. And everybody knows Naji. Thanks for coming on, brother. There you go. That's all you need to say. Let's go straight into the comments. So we got Oyo Savaloy. So you know what? Thank you, Upside Down, for cheering me up. I appreciate that.
Upside down, to me.
We got Mabanda Chickens Babanda with the best name on YouTube. Why do I waste my time watching this team? Mate, I completely understand and I agree with you. Kalis, what's going on, my man? Hey, everyone. 7 draws against top 6. Not good enough. Why is Ollie always doing late starts? We could have used Donny or Ahmed. We're going to get into that. Waz from Man United Analytics going to tell us some sort of stats, and we're going to really pick that out. Sufan, what's going on? I've come to terms that we won't win the Prem under Woodward. Oh, about time, man. But I'm starting to come to terms that we won't win under Ollie too. Okay, that's a good question. We're going to come back to this. Hopefully we can, I don't know if I can pin this somewhere, but I want to come back to this point. Dan James, let's talk about that. Dan James, McTominay and Fred were poor, but collected 90 minutes with Ahmed and Donny on the bench. Sufan, you're giving me some good bullet points here, man. Carl Lewis, he is the most cutthroat person I know on YouTube. Dan Hammis and the centre-backs put a massive shift in today. They can rest, hang their head in, the rest can hang their head in shame. We are the 0-0 Kings. LVG and Jojo would be proud. Wow. Okay, flicking out. Vibes FC. Is anyone actually surprised we're dead in big games? I completely agree. Sufan, thanks so much for that, man. Honestly, after this stream, I'm gonna go and chill with her and never talk about Manchester United ever again. Theodore, hi guys. United chill with some nice sauce and wings. Mate, you guys are cheering me up. That's massive. Nice. More congrats to the newborns and so forth. Guys, thank you so much. Oren. Yes, we pressed well. Shape was good, but it took Ollie 2 years to implement that. Oh, this is another point. People are coming up with some good points tonight that we need to go into. Tuchel did it in 24 hours, and people stop your Marshall agenda. No creativity. Thank you for joining. Passana. I think there should be a rule if there's a handball in the D, whether it's deliberate or not. Oh, my gosh. We're going to talk about this penalty. I don't want to delve in it, but we're going to talk about it. Look, well, obviously, our opening statements, let's just get straight to it in terms of our opening statements, how everybody felt. I'll give you your 2 minutes to have the floor and just talk about it, really. And in the comments as well, tell us how you feel. But you know what? I'll start with Waz. How do you feel that went, mate?
Yeah, so I think a lot of fans expected a 0-0, and that's how it played out. Obviously, United had the penalty shout with Hudson-Odoi. For me, it was a penalty. I'm surprised it wasn't given. But again, it was all just like huffs and puffs throughout the game. There was nothing like sustained or where we felt we were actually going to score. It felt like here and there we had a moment where McTominay could have maybe played that ball through, or it just felt like moments. Even if we got the penalty again, it's another moment. It's just frustrating watching us at the moment. As far as I'm aware, we've had 0 victories against the traditional top 6, so that's no wins. And I feel a key part of that is the McTominay-Fred partnership. I think our intention going into the games are to like draw or stifle the opposition. We're not really imposing ourselves on the opposition. So I think we end up getting what we deserve, unless there's a Fernandez moment or there's like a penalty that might change the way of things. So yeah, I'm just frustrated, but I think a lot of United fans are just tolerant of what we've been seeing, so we're used to the pain.
Yeah, Waz, I hear you, man. I can hear the frustration in Waz's voice. He's hurting, mate. It's like he got a flicking lottery ticket, got all the numbers except one, and he could have had 150 million. He's like, you know what, mate? I don't know what I'm doing in my life. This is what this team has brought us down to. I watched this game, and I was thinking to myself, all right, I know we are deadly on the counter-attack. I know that actually, if we really play to our strengths, we can beat any team with conviction, dynamism, like just thinking how we can impose ourselves in the game. But it was another one of those games when lacking that killer instinct, lacking that determination to actually go out and prove the doubt was wrong. It's one of those situations where is this mentality coming from? Is it coming from the team? Because every person who's come out and recently has said the team is really good. We love the dressing room. Everyone loves Ole. So where's the problem? What's happening? Because I said on Twitter, okay, everyone needs to, and I've finally done it, and it feels fantastic, right? I'm sitting on the beach with some flicking, I don't know, a margarita. Lower your expectations of this club for now, because we are literally at the bottom of a roller coaster, and we're going up. And we don't know where that drop's coming. I'll tell you that right now. We're going up and we're hoping that it's not a bad drop. We are on a journey, and this journey, we don't know how it's going to end up, but we need to just stay on it because this team is not performing how we want it to perform. Neji, talk to me, man. You're opening in 2 minutes, bro.
What the hell was that? I don't. What do you want me to say?
That's it. That's the 2 minutes.
The only thing I can say is what I've been saying on your previous streams before, bro. That's what I've got, because it's the same bull, whatever. Yeah, it's the same. It's enough. Like, literally, I made a comment one time, yeah, and I thought it was a bit over the top, but now it's relevant. I'm going to tell you that comment. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it's the big six, has gone from baby-faced assassin to baby-face on aspirin. And it's as simple as that. That's Ole, and that's where he's at, bro. He keeps picking the same dead team. What do you expect to get from this team other than hope? And we're as you loyal United fans, we're sitting there thinking, "Wow, we could actually potentially try and get something from this." And that's us begging inside. If we're honest with ourselves, inside we beg to ourselves in the idea that we could potentially get a win here. Scott McTominay, meant to be the sickest baller in midfield, apparently. Fred, meant to be class because of his energy. I feel like these people who gassed these two players up never saw Park Ji-sung. When we had Park Ji-sung, big up for his birthday the other day, yeah. When we had Park Ji-sung, yeah, he had energy. He had energy in the capacity of McTominay and Fred put together, and then his own bag of wind if he wanted it. But at the same time, he was technically good enough on the ball. This is a standard that we've come to, and people are accepting it. People are accepting it. And for me, every time I see that lineup, I don't want to debate about it. I'm not looking to argue. I'm not looking to hear anyone's point about the same stupid players that are playing. It's quite evident, because if I have to have these arguments, it means I'm questioning my logics. And I'm not saying my logics are correct all the time, but when it comes to common sense, I will not argue about common sense, because there is no logics when it comes to common sense. It's simple. You play the same back two with the same stupid midfield two. Bruno's going to get isolated as he was, and watch the papers tomorrow, watch the rival fans, and watch everyone else about Bruno did nothing against top six again. What do you expect him to do in this team when you're playing this type of football? Scott McTominay couldn't pass with his left foot. He was clean through the middle, play your left foot. He's turned back, gone back. Van de Beek's making the passes.
No, he left his kettle on, mate. He forgot. You know when you leave your oven on, you're like, oh, wait 1 second. Let me just go and make sure that's all right. Neji, I hear you. I hear you, Neji.
Yeah, man, I'm frustrated, bro.
Neji's frustrated, guys. Guys, don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Road to 500 subscribers. I appreciate you guys. And the reason why we all feel like this, like we're going to get Katie's thoughts as well, is because we don't want to see our team do this. We don't want to be in a situation where we're like, oh, God, is it Ole? Is it the board? Is it the Anthony Martial? Is it the chemistry? Is it individual brilliance? Mate, this is so many excuses. It's like if you've been with your girlfriend for a while, right? She catches you. You're like, it's not what it looks like. It is what it looks like. It is what it looks like. You got caught, mate. Do you know what I mean? To pull your pants up and go in a head of shame. You done wrong, all right? It's a situation where we have to be honest that we're not doing good enough in a situation. The Big Six record is shocking. It's shocking. Katie, how are you feeling about the game?
I mean, yeah, like I said before, it's just predictable. Every single time we go into one of these big games, we're expecting, okay, it's going to be a 0-0, it's going to be a draw. Like, we know exactly what's going to happen. And to be honest, like, I just don't look forward to these games anymore. To be quite honest with you, like, I used to love being like getting excited for like one of the big games, and now I'm like, there's no point, because we could literally sit it all out on the table, and it would follow the exact same pattern it has on every single other one. So yeah, it was literally just, the only thing that I would say that I was happy with is that we didn't sit back. That's the only positive I'd say. And it wasn't the same as like every other game where it's like we're literally just defending and then counter-attacking. Like, they did push up the pitch, which is probably the only positive you could take from it. But I looking at McTominay, like, I'm surprised that he was even started anyway. He didn't look like he was ready at all. So that's the only thing. But yeah, I'm just feeling deflated, and it's the same thing every single time, isn't it?
Yeah, I hear you, Katie. You know what, right? We're in a situation right now, okay, where you've got a kid's birthday party, right? He's done all the flicking invitations. He's got the party bags. He's like, yeah, flicking Mickey Mouse is going to be there. He turns up, right, and no one's come to his birthday party. That kid is absolutely devastated. Look what Manchester United are doing to us, because we should be performing better. The level that we should be on, the expectations should be much better, but it's not. You know what? Andrew, thank you for this, bro. We're going to talk about this, okay? And I want to see like a sense check. You're on a long drive. You've got to go to the petrol station, get some Skittles, and just assess how long you've got to go to this journey, right? I'm going to ask you, each of you, just tell me what you think. Should Ole be sacked at the end of the season? Because Andrew's brought this up. Wes, should he be sacked?
For me, the only way Ole can redeem himself is if he wins a trophy, if that's the Europa League or we're still in the FA Cup, yeah. And if he gets top 4, then he's probably got a possible shout where United board might look at it and say, look, we've got a trophy, we've got top 4. Now can we push on from here? If we invest in a centre back and a centre defensive midfielder and possibly a right winger, will we close that gap instead of buying a new manager, getting in a new manager in, and that new manager would want 3 seasons. So do we give Ole his final another year towards the end, or do we start the rebuild all together again? Like with Van Gaal, when he in his last season when he like won the cup, everyone was like, "Oh, sack Van Gaal." But then everyone was like, in hindsight, they were saying, "Oh, if we give him one more year, maybe he could have just turned the corner." Because, for example, what if we got, for example, say when Pochettino was available, if we got Pochettino. Pochettino would not fancy Wan-Bissaka because Pochettino relies on fullbacks to give width. That's what he did with Kyle Walker and Danny Rose, and then Eriksen and like Son were tucked in the little pockets. And then, so what do we do with Wan-Bissaka? Do we sell him then, or do we put him on the bench? And that's a £50 million investment. So I think maybe depending on trophies and getting top 4, then Ole probably will have another year, and that's what I do. I'll only give it another year. I wouldn't do like a 3-year contract.
Katie, would you sack him at the end of the season?
My opinion is literally the exact same as well. I think that you can't make a decision until we see what the final outcome of the whole season is, because you don't want to go into a rash decision and get someone in that's not got any vision for the club. Because I think the thing with Ole is that he does know the club, he knows the true sort of deep roots behind it. So I think in that sense he's the most hopeful that we've got. But if he doesn't get a trophy, and if he doesn't get top 4, or even, to be honest, like just top 4 by itself, I think I would definitely be doubting whether he can take us that extra step, because he's taken us to a certain point so far. But is that it? Like, can he go any further?
Naji, what are you thinking, man?
I just wanted to play good football, man. I've supported Ole for so long, seen his vision, saw what he actually brought to the team, and that was taken into consideration. That, for those who know me, right, as I always said, Ole for the rebuild, not Ole forever. The reason I said not Ole forever is because I didn't know if he had the credentials to maintain a level of success once he built the team. I knew he was right to rebuild the club, and that doesn't mean just on the pitch. I mean from the roots. I knew he was correct for that. And I knew we needed that before we could even take any challenge seriously. He's the only man we've got who can do that. But I feel his job role at the end of this year, it wouldn't be as a manager. I feel there's a job role there for him at United, but not as a manager. And unfortunately, I feel at the end of the season, he will go. Do I want him to go? No. Because he's shown that he can play more attractive football. He's shown that he can play better players and get better results.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's a hard fix, not like people are scratching their head. It's a case of he's going to die on his own sword, and that's cool, but you can be better than that.
Man, I hear you.
So for me, end of the season, I think, as everyone said, it will be up until that point, we'll see what happens. And I'll be honest, looking at this season being second, I think that papers over the cracks. The same way when we get positive results, it papers over the cracks of what we're actually doing. To me, finishing second looks great, but it's deeper than that. Finishing second in the manner in which we've said finishing second, or even trying to challenge for to get second, isn't good enough. And I haven't seen a formation since last season where we played one DM and Bruno and Pogba, and that's when those guys were injured as well. He hasn't gone back to that formation, so it makes me feel like, well, are you just going to stick with these two donkeys in CDM and at the back? Because if you are, you may as well go now, because the last thing I'll finish on, bro, the board don't back managers. And as Waz perfectly pointed out, Pochettino's going to want to get rid of certain players, and I dare say Maguire would be one of them as well, in my opinion. If
you know what, right?
Get rid, we can't go and do another rebuild. Ollie's the only person who can rebuild this club. So I think end of the season, maybe get to a summer, get the right players in, because I think another manager could come in like Tuchel has at Chelsea, and just take over with better style of play that will give us more consistency going forward.
Guys, thank you so much for joining in. Like the video, subscribe. Trying to get to 500 subscribers, which will be epic. The only thing that will make me happy, really, well, apart from my beautiful daughter, she's freaking unreal. You know what? Let's see what people are saying about this, because this is such a quick question. Like, oh, do you want to sack him? But it's multifaceted if you really think about it. People are going to say, still going to wait until the end of the season, but it's only top 4 yet again. Then he needs to leave, especially if our play doesn't improve. Okay, cool. I like this. Nice and balanced sort of opinions. I'm getting so tired of changing managers. Exactly. It's like going into a hotel room and someone hadn't cleaned up all their drawers and flicking just the wardrobes over the place, orange juice is out, and a manager just goes in there and goes, what the frick is this? Do you know what I mean? It's just a mess. It's a freaking mess. So I understand that. Carl Lewis, whether we rate him or not, Ole got third in his first full season, correct? Could get second in his second season and a trophy, that's correct. That is not a sackable offence at Manchester United. You know, I call him a freaking police officer tonight, Carl Lewis. I understand. Read me my Mirandas. I get that, man. And that's why I think we're all in agreement on this panel that we need to wait until the end of the season. Let's not be rash. The same with Martial. People are saying, oh, jump off a flicking mountain and see if you fly to see if you're good or not. Do you know what I mean? This is not the old times with witches and that. Martial is a good player. You don't turn bad overnight. Give the brother a break and see if he improves, because at the moment, the whole team's rubbish. So you can't just pick out one and say, oh, he's the worst out of all the bad bunch. These apples don't taste good. Chuck them all away. Do you know what I mean? Drizzy, hell yeah, I will sack him. Here we go. You know what? Fan opinion, everybody's got a right to it. Even if we are second and win a trophy because we were playing some boring football. You know what? I can understand where you're coming from, Drizzy. I can, because people have expectation of how football should be played. And if you don't like it and you don't think in the long term we're going to win in the right way, you have your right to say that. And I understand that. Paul Yang, can't sack him now. But you can sack him at the end of the season. If you analyze his term so far, what exactly has he done? I generally can't name anything he's done other than steady the ship. People saying don't sack him, just play more courageously. Look, everybody's having different ideas of what to do. And you know what, right? I need to have a moment on this, right? Everybody's saying, right, okay, get rid of him. Get rid of him. He's rubbish. He's this and that. There's no point getting rid of Ole until the end of the season. Because first of all, he'll either leave by his own state and say, look, I haven't achieved my objectives. I'm going to walk and let someone come in. But at least I've steadied the ship and got rid of all the players that weren't good or had that sort of bad mentality. Or the board will look at it and say, you haven't got a trophy, you only finished second, but the league is actually quite competitive, or not competitive, so what is that? You need to go. It goes It's that simple. Guys, we have to be in a situation where we lower our expectations as fans, but Manchester United can't lower their expectations. We're allowed to. We're allowed to lower expectations because, like Katie says, I go to a game and I'm thinking, what kind of rubbish am I watching? Like, I'd rather go and watch something on Netflix. I ain't chilling. I'm just watching Netflix. Like, I'd rather go and do that because I know I'm getting more enjoyment. So this is how we feel, and this is the situation we're in. Guys, I want to talk about the actual game, right? And I want to get your opinion, and I don't want to dwell on this because we know, oh, the penalty, it wasn't a penalty, but we have to address it. Katie, in your view, we're not saying they're getting out, okay? I know that, but was it a penalty? Yes or no?
Yes, and there's something very interesting that I've just seen on Twitter that Shaw said in his post-match
Go on.
Interview. So he's said, God, I've lost it now. The ref said to Harry Maguire, if I say it's a pen, then it's going to cause a lot of talk afterwards, after Harry was told that it was penalty. Wow. And that's come from Shaw's interview on Sky.
That is mad.
And it's all over Twitter. So yeah, I've just seen it. There's a lot of talk about that.
No.
That's
how many times have we been screwed over this year by officials?
No.
Sheffield United.
See, you remember, a few weeks ago when Maguire did that interview. I can't remember who it's against. It might have been West Brom, and he was saying how come since certain managers have said that we get too many penalties or whatever, how come then every single decision's gone against us? And everyone was saying he's just taking it badly, but I completely agree with him. Literally every single decision, we've had one penalty since that whole thing happened.
Oh my God.
But I can't believe that's I mean, I can't, the videos, but I can't.
That's like match fixing
I
level.
can't watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually is. I'm not even exaggerating or anything.
No, so we'll have to see what happens after.
Katie, so you're saying it was 100% a pen, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. That's not an actual hand position.
Like a swan, like this.
Yeah, literally, that's not a natural hand position. And I was very surprised that it wasn't given, to be quite honest with you. So
you know what, Katie? I don't know what Naji, what are you saying G's about?
Well, I'll just do that one more time.
What?
Jesus.
What are you doing?
Mate, I hope your wife ain't watching, you know.
Get off, man. Mate, I need to go back in the gym, mate. I'll tell you that right now. Well, that's right. We're in a situation, guys, where we've been robbed of the penalty. We're playing the most typical football against the big six. Wes, please give me some of the stats that you've seen in this game, because I don't like always looking at stats, because it's one of the things, stats this, stats merchants, GA, all of it. But when you've got a 0-0 game, what else are you going to look at? We need to see what the sort of game is looking at, because we've been robbed of a penalty. We've been robbed of good football. We've been robbed of high expectations as Manchester United fans. What are the stats saying, bro?
So even with myself, when looking at stats, first of all, I watched the game. It's the eye test, and then you look at the stats and you look at them like supplementary, and then you think, oh, do the stats align with what I've seen? And then if you understand the game, or generally sometimes the stats do align with the game. And then today, in terms of big chances created, United officially created none, and Chelsea created one. And regarding shots in the box, that will just tell you territory and attacking prowess. Chelsea had 8 shots in the box, United had 2. I think it all just stems from what Neji mentioned earlier regarding the setup of Maguire, Lindelof. It's like a box. Maguire, Lindelof, McTominay, Fred. That box there is like a magnet that just holds United back. It's like we played 2 DMs because one not good enough, so we played 2, and then we played 2 to cover 2 centre backs because one the centre back can't hold their own. And funny enough, I thought Bailly played well against Real Sociedad, but then every time he plays well, he just gets dropped, and before you know it, he'll be injured.
Honestly, those stats are shocking. That is shocking. You know what, right? I'm seeing someone say this, Neji. They're saying that Ollie's begging in the TV for it to be a penalty afterwards. I know we can't concentrate on these misses and excuses, because I'm one of those people, right? When I bring up my son, and if he says, oh no, I went to childminding or whatever, it wasn't my fault, it was their fault, I'll be like, all right, fine. Whatever they did doesn't matter though. What did you do? What are you accountable for? Because at the end of the day, we can make all the excuses that, it might have been a penalty, but we didn't make any big chances. Why'd you said it? We did not make big chances. We had 2 shots in the box, and we want to go up and lay a marker and say that, no, we are good enough. We have got the players. We do back Ole. We do back Manchester United Football Club as a whole when the results aren't going right. Like, Neji, how bad could this get? I know people saying, look, we're in the table right now. Are we still second, right?
Second by 1, bro.
We're second, right? Okay.
By 1 point, yeah.
By 1 point. Are we overreacting, Neji? Because some people be like, "Oh, come on, guys! Like, it's all right. We're still second." But are we overreacting, or are we thinking long term? What are you thinking?
I don't think there's what I've noticed with this fan base for this season specifically is that we've got results fan base with all the legit logical explanations. That some people will look at this today and go, "Right, we've managed to get a point ahead of Leicester." Leicester lost, you know what I mean, did us a favour. For this season alone, it's great. That is fine. Don't get me wrong. But most United fans that I've seen or feel are getting upset because we know we're still part of a rebuild. It's second season for Ole, ultimately, 2.5 years, ultimately. We are not the finished article right now. So what we're looking for is a form of progression, level of progression each season, so that we know we're getting closer and closer to that stage where we can go, right, Ole, you know what? We've seen you progress. Now this is the season. We're not having this is the season. And I don't think that's been an overreaction on any part. But what I do strongly feel is that it's making people short-sighted. It's making, not to be disrespectful, but genuinely only seeing the short-term outcomes. So it's the result. Don't worry, it's the result. We're still second. It's like we're holding on to that. And for me, that's a low standard. That's just for me personally. And I think people who do that, like I always said, if we win the league this season, if we were to win it, it would have been literally in the same manner as a Leicester City. Great season, got the results, grinded out 0-0s, 1-0s here and there. Do you know what I mean? Managed to do well. But then there's no longevity after that because, as you see, teams start stepping up and playing great again. We're second, and teams around us are absolutely struggling. Man City have a system in place that even when they didn't have their best players on hand for 4, 5, 6 weeks, especially De Bruyne, they were still playing a style of football. Gundogan goes, all right, mate, no worries, I can do that job. Comes in and starts smashing goals and assists left, right, and centre. It comes to a point where we need a style of play and a system of play that we can rely on. Because if we're going to rely on individuals, and I'll keep saying this, the biggest thorn in our team next season will be when Pogba leaves, you will not be playing that stupid ball over the top to Rashford anymore. You will need ballers that can actually progress the ball from the back all the way to the front consistently for a minimum of 75 minutes without making mistakes. So is Ole progressing onto something like that? Because if I can see that being an issue later on, I'm sure he can.
Well, Katie, then, on Neji's point, do you feel like the football that Chelsea played was actually better than ours, more progressive? You saw what the manager's doing, or do you feel like they bottled it too and they didn't really take their chances? Like, because we look at ourselves, but also, what did Chelsea bring? What do you think of that? What they did to us?
I mean, in terms of I thought that every single chance that they had, they completely wasted. So in that sense, I think that it was like pretty much a level playing field, to be honest. Like, they probably had more chances than us, but they just didn't take them. But in terms of like just working as a team, we literally play like individual players all the time. Like it's like they don't play with each other. It's like they've literally just all been shoved together. The passes aren't working. The crosses are barely working. People don't know, they can't read the game. You see like James putting crosses into the boxes and there's no one there. Like Greenwood was like delayed reaction to try and go and get that. That could have been a goal. That was a missed opportunity. So in terms of Chelsea, you can tell that I think what Tuchel's done, he's literally put this formation so they can work together as a team, which is something that we don't have. But I don't understand what's going on behind the scenes and in training. Like I don't understand how they're not stringing passes together.
Sorry, Dominic. Katie, just whilst on that point as well, because you made a great point. It's even more evident when we're off the ball. Look what happens off the ball. It's a shambles. Like we were getting run ragged today, like this, and hoping it would land. And most of the time, we got the ball back because they messed up one pass. Like that's what top teams do now. Tuchel's done that within the space of a week and a bit. Ollie's had 2 seasons, so is he going to get any better? Is a big question.
But
Well,
we've seen periods of it, and like we've seen periods where he's played some really great football and the team's looked really good. But why is this just a rarity? Why is us playing poor? Why is that the norm? This is the thing, isn't it? I don't understand. We've seen glimpses of it, so why isn't it still being implemented every single week? That it should be, and it's not.
It's weird. It's really, really weird. Like upside down or NMOPS, whatever. It was like a game of basketball with no points. I can't figure out when this is going to get better. Honestly, I can't figure out what it's going to take, because at the moment, what we're trying to do from the sidelines is basically go, okay, it's not working. We don't know if we fully but believe in Ollie's methods. So what we should do is basically go on Twitter and say, Ollie, play Ahmad, play Donny. We're trying to make an effect from the sidelines, because we know they look at Twitter, they know they look at the papers and the press and so forth. So we're trying to make a change based on players. But is that going to be enough? Because we've seen sometimes him playing different players and it still doesn't really make a huge difference. Like, I'm not seeing, like, when Donny's come on, obviously he's a different kind of player, and we've had lots of discussions about Donny, but he's not made a massive difference. Granted, the system's not good enough and we're not playing the right way, but he's not making a huge, massive impact. Like, we can't rely on Amad Diallo to come in and just change the whole team and say, oh yeah, De Gea's going to stop making mistakes. Lindelof's not going to flicking do like knee drops and flicking WWF to players. We can't expect that. Do you know what I mean? So how's it really going to change? Whereas, I'm going to try and flip this in his head, right? Because I could go on for flicking ages about how bad this was. Like, this is a horrible date. I keep going on a date with this person and they keep letting me down. I can keep talking about it. But Wes, was there anything positive about this game? And if you get this, mate, I'll rate you. Tell me anything positive you saw about this game.
Oh, the positive is probably kept a clean sheet. I think that's the basis of the United team, trying to keep clean sheets. I think it all ultimately it comes down to intention. I saw a comment just earlier on where it said Ollie mentioned that the next step for this team is to score more goals. But if Ollie wanted to score more goals, he would have started Bailly, so he could play a higher line. It mean the midfield could push up forward. You can say what you want, but the answer is in your action. If you're picking a defensive team, you can say, "Oh, we want to score more goals," but you've picked McTominay and Fred, you've picked Maguire and then Lindelof. So you're just like lying to us. It's like a politician's answer. So yeah, it's frustrating in that aspect.
Mate, I hear you, man. Nuruddin, my brother.
What's going on?
Mate, we've just been guys. Oh, sorry, guys. Thank you again for joining. Subscribe if you're new. Road to 500. Like the video. Like the video if you want to see us become a better football team before 2025. Just like that video for me if you can. Nuruddin, just tell me how you thought about the game, man. Like, we've just gone in. Just how you feeling, man?
You know what? I actually thought United started off well. I thought United pressed high up the pitch. I've not seen Man United do that. I thought we engaged Chelsea. It reminded me a little bit of the Liverpool game at Old Trafford, Ollie's first time, when he first came. And we had all those injuries because the players pressed Liverpool high. And I thought that day we played like 5 at the back and we played 2 the wing backs to meet their 2 fullbacks up the pitch. I thought that tactically was good. But it's again, it comes down to the middle. Fred and McTominay, as you've seen Fred and McTominay on the last third, they don't have the quality. And then Dan James, we love him because the kid has come through lows. He's had some bad times at Man United at times. He's not played a lot of games and it's difficult for him. But he huffed and puffed and worked hard. But he put on a one good ball. As a right winger for Man United, I mean, I'm used to all of the right wingers at Man United. To put in one ball in 93 minutes of football. Maybe 2 balls. He put in 2 balls in 93 minutes of football. That's not good enough. So when people tell me, oh, we've got a squad that can hurt people and squad that can do this and squad that can do that, we haven't. I mean, our limitations are there for everybody to see. We understand what we do. We understand how we play. But McTominay there just shows it. He might be good at having shots on goal. He might be good at defensively, that he did really well today to get back at Mount. Mount would have, I don't know if the game would have saved that, but he did he almost did some mad spin, McTominay, and then he managed to block the shot.
Yeah.
I thought defensively we were more solid today, even though you think if his hair is a little bit longer, Giroud scores, and they've been waiting. So they've been waiting that two or three opportunities to whip that ball in the way they did. And I thought defensively we coped with that. De Gea made one decent save in the whole of the game, even though they had more shots. I think Bruno has become a psychological thing. The more people talk about it, the more he goes into his head. So simple passes. I mean, he's been amazing for us, and I'm not trying to have a go at him, but today on the ball, everything went through him, the bits of quality, and he lost his head. He was shouting at the referee and upset and screaming and just getting too far more emotional. I like emotion, but there's sometimes you have to have the controlled emotion. You have to play the game and really see for what it is. I mean, that ball he plays to Rashford's through there. If that ball is in front of Rashford, and Rashford, that ball, and then the ball goes out. The ball is so badly hit, it goes out for a throw-in. And McTominay. So Man United is that if we're going to play like this, if we're going to engage, and I thought Fred did a lot of qualities. He was tenacious across the pitch. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous challenge on Mount. He's not trying to win the ball there. Mount's not going anywhere. Why you try to scissors him? You know, that's a scissors yellow card. Anytime you get like a scissors effect where you get your 2 feet wrap around the guy who's in front of you, that's a yellow card. You're asking for a yellow card, even if it's your first foul. So those things for me were frustrating, but I didn't watch the game and think that I'm glad we didn't see. I mean, second half, they pushed us back. So second half, we run out of gas because we couldn't press as well as we did in the first half.
Press was super high press.
But in the first half, but the second half, obviously we run out of gas and they come into the game. So yeah, that's my thoughts. But it just shows another thing about the top six in it. We haven't the belief is not there. The belief in each other's not there. Everything goes through Bruno, and if Bruno's having an off day, Man United have an off day.
Yeah, you know what?
I think that Chelsea got away with a penalty because I don't give a damn anybody said.
Oh yeah,
my man was holding that ball like he was knife and fork, mate. My man was about to take a bite like it was an apple. Trust me.
Mate,
we had Luke Shaw. He was trying to peel that.
Luke Shaw came out basically and said that the Harry Maguire or something, or said to Luke Shaw that, oh no, I can't give you the penalty, basically, or be talked about afterwards. That's what the ref said, because basically they just give us too many penalties. It's going viral, apparently. Katie said so. That this is what we've got down to. Like Nuruddin, you're saying all these points, and it's just it's so true, and it's so disappointing that everything now we're just nitpicking things. We're like, oh, this, that, and it's come down to this. And the Chelsea team will be more frustrated that they didn't finish that Giroud chance, or they didn't finish that chance in the box. They had 8 shots in our box, we had 2, according to Waz, right? That's not good enough. Big chances, we had 1 big chance, I think, or no big chances. So 0 big chances. Thank you very much. And they had 2, right? It's not good enough. It's not sustainable. And the problem is the expectations are so lowered right now that we're all coming onto the situation thinking, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Because this is not sustainable in any sort of way. I tweeted it, right? I said, Dan James, for his level, is playing very well. He impressed me. But he impressed me in the game and the performances that we play. But people went, oh, no. He's not really making any crosses. He's not really creating anything. I was like, well, what's Bruno creating? What's Rashford doing? What's Greenwood doing? Like, what's anybody doing? You can't just have these biases before and not look at the game as it is. Because for me, I don't know if anybody else agrees with me, the most dangerous player I thought in the overall for us was Dan James.
Yeah, but that says a lot when Dan James is the most dangerous player. Do you get what I mean?
I thought Luke Shaw was our most dangerous in terms of being in the right positions in the right areas to actually deliver a ball. Just have the people in the box. That's alarm bells for me.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. We're saying people here that the players have a limit to coming up with strategies while actively playing. The United coaching staff need to start developing consistent patterns of play. You know what, Katie? How do you feel about this term, patterns of play? Because lots of people are saying that we play freestyle football or vibes FC. There's no system, there's no pattern of play. Do you believe in this rhetoric, patterns of play, or do you believe with better players they'll automatically just play better football?
I think that we can't just rely on getting good players in to come play better football, because we've seen it with Bruno, where if he has a day where he's not turning up, then, as you said, the entire team has a bad day. So if you're just relying on individuals to carry your team, it's just not going to work. You can't rely on people. People aren't going to have a amazing game every single time. So we need to put in sort of structure and style of play that we can fall back on if all else fails, because you can't just rely on one person. It's too much pressure. And then they just crumble. Like Bruno today, I don't think he had a good game at all. And then, like you say, everybody else had a flat game. But Bruno's the one that gets the blame.
Yeah, and that's the problem. We rely on Bruno too much. People are saying that, you know what? We're in a situation right now, lower expectations. I think personally that by the end of the season, if we don't make top 4, guys, I'm actually being honest with you. Do you actually think we can make top 4? I was about to say it. Do you think we can make top 4? Honestly, Nuruddin, do you think we can actually make top 4? But not based on Manchester United, and I'll come to you guys after, based on how we play, and we still got to play big teams, we've got Europa League and so forth. Can we actually make top 4, honestly? Because I know Leicester lost, but they're still there. West Ham are looking good. Arsenal, they won. Tottenham, they won. But there's not a massive gap. Do you know what I mean? Do you actually think we can make top 4 as it stands?
I always said when people were talking about title race, I was saying that I want to believe that I want to jump on the bandwagon, but ultimately, I think we're in a top 4 challenge to get in the top 4 and to stay. So I was like, I'll get behind the bandwagon that we're in a title challenge so that we can finish in the top 4. But yeah, it's difficult, bro. It's difficult. I can't really stay too long, bro, because I've got to go. I've been trying to do my match reaction and this technology thing's not working. StreamYard and YouTube are doing a madness.
Oh, so yeah.
I was supposed to make my my match reaction earlier on, and I'm having a few technical difficulties, teething problems and all of that. But yeah, I just think that Man United, where we are is where we are. At the end of the day, we've got this structure. And then we have this structure, and the club, the way the club's run, the way 3 bankers make the decisions at the football club, the way we still, after 8 years after Fergie's left, we still haven't got a director of football. We haven't got a head of recruitment. We hardly, the only managers only ever communicate with the fans and with the media. We never hear anything other except any of these media that do 1 or 2 things, interviews here and there. We never hear from Ed Woodward. And at the end of the day, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the manager, but there's no help for him. So he's making it as he goes along. He's learning on the job. And at the end of the day, we don't have the players. Man United don't have the players. And then we have 3 midfield players so we've got 6 midfield. Maybe you can think Bruno could be a midfielder, but we've got maybe 5 midfield players. 3 of them can't pass the ball. Or 4 of them can't pass the ball. 3 of them can't pass the ball. Van der Beek can pass the ball. Pogba can pass the ball.
Yeah.
Though Fred, McTominay, and Matic can't pass the ball. They can be defensive. And then McTominay is a number 8. He's not a defensive midfield player, but he makes runs, but he can't pass the ball. He's not good enough on the ball. And at the end of the day, Dan James is huffs and puffs and he's great. I think in the games where we're winning and we're sitting back and we need to counter teams after we scored, he might be great. He'll win fouls. He'll get us up the pitch. But like you said, Rashford didn't do anything today. Bruno was one of his worst games for me in a Man United shirt because everything went to him to try to create and he wasn't creating anything. Fred and McTominay, we know their limitations. We are in need of quality. And the biggest things that people go, Greenwood had to create things for himself, and he had 1 shot that just went past the bar and the post. He created that himself by playing quick 1-2 with Dan James and then try to bend it. But we didn't create. I think Dan James crossed the ball once and
Greenwood just
Greenwood was on his when he closed.
Same chance that Martial got slated for, that he didn't get there quick enough. No one's talking about Greenwood because he's younger and stuff. I get it, but if you're playing in front of you, got to do the position you got to do and to your best ability. I don't like these agendas.
Nuruddin, is out there. Our fan base is that toxic. It becomes agenda fan base.
Oh, big time.
It's like at the end of the day, we got to watch the game. My agenda is is to tell the truth about Man United, that I don't think Maguire and Lindelof were good enough. But today, they got away with it. They got away with it today. They got away. And the biggest thing is that bringing Giroud off, that actually hampered that played into our games because there wasn't a
massively.
when they were going wide. And I think towards the end of the second half, we got so tired. There was space available for Chelsea to cross the ball, whip the ball in. But who's he crossing into? They're crossing to Werner and who? And what's his name? The American kid, Captain America. That's who they were crossing into.
Yeah. Nuruddin, mate, I appreciate it. So. Let me talk about your channel, Nuruddin, man, because you started that, but I know you got to go. What's your channel about, bro? Yeah,
you know what? It's a channel. It's just, you know what? It's something that people have been asking me for a very, very long time. You know what I mean? It's very, very long time overdue. And I'm always like, I talk about football, but yeah, it's called United Real Therapy. It is uncompromising. It's self-deprecating. It is just speaking about the structure. You know, people know me as Mr. Structure because I'm always talking about the structure. I'm saying that Man United, I don't think we'll get anywhere if we don't change the structure. The structure is the foundation. What's in the club at the back is the foundation. And if that's not right, then Man United we can never equip the managers. We can never equip the players. We can't equip them to go and succeed and win league. I mean, you see the Glazers, Tampa Bay, they buy two good players. What happens? They go and win. They go and get the winners. Who've done it before and they win. So it's not rocket science. Wolverhampton, Everton, Leicester City have a better football structure than the Man United.
Bro, let's just put it this way before Nuruddin goes. I don't think they're going to be making an all or nothing documentary about Manchester United. I wouldn't hold your breath on that bad boy because that'll be the most driest ever show on Amazon Prime you ever see. Nuruddin, thank you so much for coming in on, brother. I appreciate you, man.
I think they should make an Amazon documentary about being the worst run club in the world. We should be just in the boardroom. We should follow Woodward for 24 hours. That's what we should do.
Vlog.
Nuruddin, I appreciate you, man. Have a good evening, man.
Love everybody. Nice to meet you guys. Take care.
Yeah,
peace.
Okay.
Guys, thank you so much for joining in and saying locked in. And we're just talking about, you know, it's a situation where it's not great. And someone did a really good point, and I want to talk about this. Waz, Katie, Naji, I want to get your points in this, right? Our next 6 games, we are looking at Palace, City, Milan, West Ham, Milan, and Leicester in our next 6. How many points are we getting from this, Wes?
Cool.
What we do in these games? Because I could not tell you, bro.
Yeah, I think in our next 6 games, I think it's within an 18-day like span. So we're going to be tested in terms of the consistent games, and also in a short period of time. So players have got to recover. Ollie's got to rotate his squad well as well in between. But yeah, all the ties look difficult. But to be honest, regarding AC Milan, I was glad we got them because I wanted United to be challenged. We've got to beat AC. We've got to beat AC Milan. We're Manchester United. We've got the players. We should beat AC Milan. If Ollie's not beating AC Milan, it's going to say a lot. So I'm tired of all this this middle here and there. I just want answers. Either regarding the players or regarding the manager. That's why you want to face the best. You just know where you are instead of just sliding away and getting away with things.
Yeah, I hear you. What do you think we're going to win, Katie? Do you think we're going to beat Palace, City, Milan, West Ham, who are flicking? Thank God Lingard can't play against us. No, honestly, thank God he can't play against us. Wait, by the way, how can Dallo play against us? You know Milan.
I wondered that.
How does that work? Because he got like a Nando's card, and he just the black Nando's card, and he can do whatever he wants. Like, how's that work?
I have no idea what's going on there.
That's a bit of a match fiction. How do you feel about it, Kate? Do you think we're going to do well in these next 6 games, or just completely vibes FC?
Vibes FC, wing it as they go along, I reckon, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I don't want to see the exact same formation for every single one of these games. I would really like to mix it up a little bit, whether that's in the Europa League or something, but I'm just so sick of seeing 4-2-3-1. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see something change just to spice it up a little bit. But I think, I think we could win against Palace, West Ham. Leicester had about 3 players come off today with injuries, so they've got a bit of an injury blow. So I think we could win some of them. City, if we go out against City and play how we did today, we're not going to let anything out of that game, are
It'll be a
we?
long 90 minutes.
I genuinely want to watch it. Like, I think that's how it would be. But I think I said to you like a while ago, Dom, like for me, the Europa League's a bit of a refreshing thing, and I'm quite interested. I look forward to that more than I look forward to the Premier League at the moment, just because it's the same week in, week out.
Yeah, I completely agree. I am so sick of the Premier League. I'm literally done with it. It bores me. It frustrates me. I get emotionally drained. I don't know what I'm doing next. Like you said, like I need this 4-2-3-1. I just want to come in an AG. And just like you, I need a bit of oregano, a little bit of freaking cracked black pepper just to mix it up, because it's just not sustainable. It's not working game to game, and we keep doing this. I've said so many times to play the 4-3-3, 2-8s. Why am I not doing it? Why can't we be fluid? Why can't we just change it up? People are crying out for subs, Ollie, please, mate. There's freaking no crowd noise. You'll probably hear us, but they're just not doing it. I want to see Ahmad play. I want to see Donny, and then if they flop, give us some freaking entertainment. Do something different, because you're losing the fan base, and I feel that we're going to a point when it might get toxic again, and I don't like it, because this is one of the biggest, strongest fan base, 1 billion fans around the world. I look at this game saying, what's next? Neji, this is one of those results, right, where we're gonna be like, okay, another opportunity lost, another big six messed up. Like, where do we honestly go from here? Because Katie brought up a good point. It's always 4-2-3-1, and I know you have your thoughts about how we should play football. Where can we actually go from here and instill some sort of hope into our fan base and the community, bro?
Well, regardless of my opinion, before I give it, just know that it ain't going to be what my opinion is, and pretty much what most fan base feel it should be. And that in itself is a degrading force. We've already seen Ole clearly favour his sense. But we used to ask questions, go, why not buy? We used to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, why not buy? Must be something going on, or is it this? We can now categorically say, no doubting, that he just has his favourites and plays them for that reason. So in order for us to move forward, well, no, I'll be honest, in order for Ole to keep his job, because I think he's got there now, I honestly believe, bro, that he needs to either look at his coaching staff. So I don't mind him being freestyle or man manager. Be the best man manager in the world. Be Fergie. Do what you want. But if you've got no structure in terms of patterns of play and a way of moving the ball when you've got it at your feet, and you haven't got any positional sense when you're defending, then I'm sorry, it ain't going to work out. For me, I felt that one of my uncle an excuse now, so I thought it was a bit of a good theory. But before, I had one excuse where I said he didn't have the players to play 4-1-2-3 like last season because he wasn't backed by the manager, i.e. I thought that he would have had a CDM, and I thought he would have been given a right winger, which would have allowed us to play, 4-1-2-3, which gave us the great end to the season that we had. He's not shown that he wants to play that for a long, long time, for whatever reason. So maybe he's settled into this 4-2-3-1, gone, I'm second, and left it at that. But he ain't going to progress far with that, bro. And just on a side note, I remember mentioned Dallo, it's actually in his terms of contract that he can still play for Europa League. Hence why he can play against us, which is just ludicrous. It's flipping. That is Matt Judge and Ed Woodward signing off contracts.
Like, it's so embarrassing. And typical United, if Dalot gets an assist and Zlatan heads it in or something like that.
It just you can write it. You know yourself, Was, but this is the incompetence, and people don't really appreciate the small details that actually are the bigger details within this. They don't appreciate it, and they probably never even indulged into the club that far. But if you're watching this, before you get on Ollie's back, first and foremost, go and check Matt Judge and go and look at Ed Woodward, and just go and do some proper research. Spend 20 minutes, half an hour. Go really look into who they are, what they are doing, what their job role is, and then how we have not been supported and backed in the way that we should be. Then ask yourself, would David Gill make the same mistakes? And then if not, you would actually probably be looking at a team where we go back to your formation of 4-1-2-3, where you have got a Jude Bellingham in midfielder, you have got a Sancho, and potentially got a Haaland up front, and you would have signed him early on before the season starts. That's what David Gill did for Fergie. Every signing, whether it was first choice or not, even players that we didn't know about. We didn't know much about Vidic. We didn't know much about Evra. we got these players scouted properly, brought them into the team early. Yes, they were January signings, but most of our signings came in early, way before the window started. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So we can't. A lot of it is on the board. I get that, but Ole at this moment has players that could play the system that he is playing and could do a better job, and he's choosing not to pick him. So I'm sorry, I can't back that stupidity. So for me, it's either 4-1-2-3 or play 4-4-2, like we did last time. And again, who was it? Who did we play last? Europa League, was it? We played at 4-4-2. Or even put Twanzebe as a CDM because he's great with both feet.
You know what's crazy is that we're trying to form something just to make a picture, and the picture don't look good, is it? You know, he's just like, oh God, I've only got pink and blue. I'm just going to try and I know I'll make Peppa Pig. It don't look like Peppa Pig. Do you know what I mean? It don't look good. We're trying to just push everything here. Like honestly, again, my expectations are lowered, and I feel better. I feel better because I know this team are not the right team. I know this team are not going to play the scintillating football we need to see to invigorate us, to have Katie flying that flag every match game, having a GNT. It's taking out the emotion of Neji and he's grown up in football. Where it's just like, why the flick am I doing analytics for no big chances? What's the flicking point? It's sucking the life out of us, but we can't change who we are. We got to support our team for the good times and the bad times, but we just know the worst thing that is though simple changes could elevate us. Just simple changes. Yeah. Honestly, even if the DOF had a bad time, whatever, at least we're trying to move forward. A DOF will come in from the outside and say, "Okay, what's happening? Let me see." Like a consultant, what's going wrong here? What can I improve? What's your system? Why has Woodward got more power? What's Judge doing? Why does no one see your face? What's the system? Little things like this can just see us go from here and try to sort the problem out. All we're doing at the moment, sort the problem out, is making sure that Ole brings back the good vibes, the man management, which he is, and we're hoping that bringing in players at the same time will sort it out. It will not. And we'll keep coming back and we'll keep being in the same situations. Those next 6 games, guys, I have no idea what the result is going to be. I'm not confident about any of them, and I won't be confident until I see a consistent style, effort, mentality from all of our players from top to bottom. You know what? The last final thing, let me know. Just tell me, Waz, what would you rate Ole in terms of, because I'm not going to rate the players, no point. What would you rate Ole in terms of out of 10 his performance today?
Oh, regarding the performance today, probably a 6.
6 for Ole?
Yeah, 5 or 6, because we got a draw, maybe away from home. In terms of that, like practical, pragmatic way, you can say, "Oh, we got a result at Chelsea," but obviously we know long term we get certain results. I think someone made a really good point. Like a month ago, I saw it. It goes, Ole's never going to do good enough to achieve, but he'll never do like bad enough to get sacked. So we'll always be in that middle space.
Oh, that's the worst.
And it actually feels like that. But just quickly, I was going to mention, Neji made good points regarding the formation. For me, Ole's best football was when he first arrived to play 4-3-3 with Matic, Pogba. And I think the football end of last season lockdown, where we beat Brighton away and we beat Aston Villa, we played Matic, Pogba, Fernandes, and that was a single pivot as well. And one last story with Matt Judge. I don't know anyone inside the club, but I know someone who's got like he's like friends with like the youth players.
Oh, nice.
And they told me Matt Judge, basically, United and Tottenham were after Hakimi. So Pochettino was after Hakimi when he was at Tottenham. So Hakimi went to Tottenham, went to see the training ground. Then he went to Old Trafford, went to United, Carrington, and so on. Then he met Matt Judge, and Matt Judge goes to Hakimi, tell me about you, like tell me what sort of player you are and stuff. And even Evra mentioned that agents will ring Evra to tell Matt Judge to put his phone on.
Oh my gosh, have mercy.
Evra mentioned that.
Well, guys, you've heard it here. This is some flicking exclusive content here. Don't copyright it. You know what I mean? You heard it from right here on United Source and Wingers. That's flicking. That didn't surprise me the slightest. Honestly, like, I know for a fact if I go on Tinder, which I've never done, I've been married for 11 years. Well, I've been with my wife 11 years. I know if I go on Tinder, I might meet a guy called Dave. You never know. You don't know. We've all seen catfish. You can't think that it's just everything's going to be what it seems. Yahir's giving Ole a 2. Okay. I'm not even surprised with that. Safan's giving Ole a 5. Katie, what are you giving Ole in terms of the team today?
I think I'd probably go for a 6 as well. I don't think it was as bad as like some of the other games that we've seen against the top 6. I was, like I said, I was impressed with the way that they didn't just sit back. But just I think that he could have made some subs again. Like this is the same thing that keeps coming up. He just doesn't make subs in enough time. I think that bringing on Donny in the second half could have worked quite well. The only thing is that he, like, was he match fit? Like McTominay wasn't. I don't know, but I just think that our issue at the moment is that we're massively missing Pogba and Cavani, to be honest.
Yeah, no, okay, I hear it,
And that's out of Ollie's control because we've got some injuries. We haven't really got much to bring on.
Katie, can you do me a favour and please still have your G&Ts and stuff with Man United game? I don't want that to stop. Like,
I know, I haven't had a drink in. Well, that sounds really bad. I haven't had a drink in like a week. That was a G&T. It's true. I haven't had one since.
Honestly, Katie has G&Ts when we win a game in Manchester United, and I'll be honest with you, it's going to be a lead couple of months.
Yeah.
This is what other people are saying. Chris is saying 5. Thanks, mate. I really appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. Paul Young, I love Ollie's character as a man who'll never blame any of his players. Yes, that's what's keeping him here. He's good talking, he's good man management, but to get to that level, we need more. We do need more, and that's it. We've run out of time here. Naji, just really quickly, well, what's your rating for Ollie, bro?
I'm gonna give him a 3 today, bro.
Thank you, Naji.
That's the most. Yeah, so I'm not gonna ramble on, but I think I said to you earlier, I gave logical explanations as potential reasons as to why he does what he does. Now he's got none. I can't see any. So now it's a choice. He's choosing to pick the same team. He's choosing to pick those players. And I'm not looking at the result because that, to me, papers over the crack. He deserves the 3. He should have gone and got the win. Play and go, try and get the 3 points. That's United that I'm used to. I'm no longer settling for less than that anymore. Yeah. So I want to see my team. He's been a part of that team as well, bro. Successful team. So yeah, man, he's getting a 3 from me.
All right, man. I'm saying that Ollie gets a 5. As you walk in the pitch, everybody starts with a 5. So does Ollie, the subs. If you start and play, they start with a 5. We didn't score, we didn't lose. So for me, it's a 5. We didn't do anything great, didn't do anything bad. That's all it is, 0-0. Just for me, it's just not what I want to see the club do. Guys, thank you so much for joining in. We're back tomorrow for the Monday Night Source Show every Monday at 7 p.m. We're going to have a special guest on there as well, probably talking about how rubbish this was, but also some other things I want to talk about and get your thoughts on and put together a few things. So please join in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Thank you again for all the lovely messages. I really appreciate it. You guys are helping us get through this pandemic through Manchester United, which could be called a football pandemic, the way that we play football. So I appreciate you. I got Wads following Man United Analytics on Twitter. He's such a good guy. I appreciate you, Wads, as always. Katie, KEE MUFC, just the name here on Twitter. She's always good. She's also does write-ups for pre-games and so forth as well. So go and follow that. Katie, I appreciate you as always. And Naji Fox, as always, Sunshine47. Go and follow him on YouTube. He started the channel. It's just type in Sunshine47. It'll come up straight away. And he's got a really good channel that he's starting there. So, guys, I appreciate your support. Have a good evening. You make me feel better about myself. But anyway, thank you so much, guys. Peace out. A-Town down. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Peace.